Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of. Oh man, I forgot. We didn't set
Grossi and Grant this week. Just for
okay, we'll do it.
Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple.
Another episode of Grossi and Grant, the long-time running 2 weeks in a row show featuring Tom Grossi.
We're in a groove.
And Ryan Grant, yeah. And listen, people, I just went through the YouTube comments before this went live, and I didn't really see a whole lot of name suggestions for the show. So week 3 is coming up. We've already exhausted Grant and Grossi and Grossi and Grant, so we're out of ideas.
Pick it up, fellas. Pick it up.
I'm just saying, do better. Do your job.
We need you to figure out what we need to be called. All right, so we're giving you just a little responsibility.
A little bit.
Get it together. Pick it up, okay?
And you have to do it every week.
Yeah, and then be ready to do it again the next week. Absolutely.
Exactly. It's like a job, but you don't get paid, but we don't really either, so it's okay.
But you get self-fulfillment, which is the most important thing.
And hey, no, you know what? No, here we go. We can spruce this up. And the winner of whoever has the best name,
okay, well,
that name will be on the show. That's it. That's all you get. But I made it sound really exciting. So
we could say your name, but we probably won't. So just enjoy the name of the show.
But you know what? If it's that good, I will write it down and I'll write the username unless it's like grossly inappropriate. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a little shout out action. That's it. Maybe we'll do it. Unless
it's like the original like email names, because everybody's original email name was like super ridiculous and inappropriate.
Yes. Yes. Like Psycho Killer 55 XOXO 69 25 420. Yeah, pretty much. That's it. But Ryan, my friend, we oh boy, a little bit of a good week for the Green Bay Packers for the green and gold on Sunday. A little bit of a good game.
Not bad if I say so myself.
I was reading somewhere, and by reading somewhere, I mean I didn't read this somewhere, but we are the highest scoring offense in the NFL right now.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
43
Is that the case? Yes, 43 points, which I'm not going to front. That definitely threw me off a little bit. I didn't expect 43 points. Not because I didn't think that the Packers could score that much, but I expected a better performance from the Minnesota defense.
Aww, I'm sure Mike Zimmer did too. But alas, it didn't happen.
Didn't get it done.
It's gone. It's gone. You see those hopes and dreams, Vikings fans, they're up. You just missed them. They just left, but it's okay. Listen, I think the Vikings will get better as the season goes along, but
can't get any worse right now.
So I mean, 43 points in 1 week is not good, not great. Could have been better. Yes. And even with Danielle Hunter, I feel like it still wouldn't have been great. But hey, the fourth quarter. That was your quarter, guys. You scored.
They did. They came after it a little bit, and I think they were. They took the first 3 quarters as preseason. So we'll
that's it. They were just like, wait a minute. This is real. Oh, we're live right now. That's on me. That's my bad. That's my bad.
I wonder. It's funny. I wonder. With all the no fans and all that, if it did kind of feel like scrimmage like for certain guys.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they asked Bill Belichick that in like his post-game interview, and one of the reporters was like, in your life, have you ever experienced something like that with no crowd? And he goes, yeah, practice.
You say practice? Yeah, exactly. Practice. What are you talking about?
Well, Rodgers was just talking about that too on the show that won't be named because it's not ours.
What are you doing? Yeah. Just real quick. I'm just, real quick. No beef, but what are you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron.
Every day you're doing this show. Yeah, you know what, Aaron? What do you do? Every day, every week you're doing this show. Same day we're doing this show. Like, come on now.
Which just doesn't have a full name yet, but you know it's going. Listen, I'm just gonna throw a little spice in there. I'm just gonna throw a little gasoline on the fire. Aaron, if you come on the show, one of the weeks it could be your name.
Right? I wouldn't have a problem saying it's basically the Aaron Rodgers podcast.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna throw something out. Ryan, you tell me how you feel. Ready? ARGG. It sounds like a pirate. You just go ARG. That's the show.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, Grossi, Grant. Done.
I'm gonna text Aaron after this, see if we got something.
Okay.
We got some.
I think that's a winner. I think, it's cool. I'll text Aaron afterwards too. I'll text him too. I just keep trying every number that's 7 digits, and like I'm on 0000003. So I'll see. I'll get the number eventually.
Try on Twitter. He doesn't respond during the season, but he'll maybe see it.
Okay. All right. So, I'll do the shout out. This, you know what? This is going to be cut right now because all you people, and you know what, Ryan, I know we went off track and it took 2 minutes for us to do that. But everybody who was like, Tom, there's so many ads on YouTube. Wow, Tom, you're so great. I don't do that. That's YouTube. All right. So I'll cut this clip right here. I'll cut it right here and make it nice. And this will be the bat signal to Aaron Rodgers and say, listen, 1 week. You want this to be the Aaron Rodgers show podcast project?
We want you. We need you. We know that you don't know about us yet, but you're going to want to.
Yet.
And yet. Keyword yet.
Taking over. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Ryan Grant, there are a bunch of people in the comments that were asking when your podcast on Process is going to drop. We've totally gone off.
Oh, it is. Soon. I'm looking at right now, we are probably launching the end of October. We're trying to stockpile as many interviews, but I have some really big names, great guests, and I expect people to be excited and really enjoy it. We got some good stuff coming.
I bet that has a name. It probably has a name.
Profits in Process with Ryan Grant.
That's it. That's the ticket right there.
There we go, boss.
Yep. So, yes, this past Sunday was great. And Aaron Rodgers, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, was on fire. Yeah, 4 touchdowns. Had a pretty damn good game. Now, I know you were talking about expecting more from the Vikings defense. Did you expect the Green Bay Packers offense to come out firing on all cylinders, like from the get-go?
No. I'm not surprised with Aaron's ability to be in sync and how he looked. Listen, at the end of the day, you'll never find a bone in my body that doubts Aaron's abilities and doubt what he's going to do from a professional aspect. So, no, I wasn't surprised with his ability to be in sync and be on the same page with the wideouts. I think just because it takes, a lot of times for the whole offense as a machine to come on board. And especially, we had, I think a couple guys went down and there were a couple moving parts. Which, might be a little concern here and there, but guys stepped up, like really should be able to do that. Just guys came in on both sides of the ball and stepped up and really performed at a high level. So it was actually I tell people asked online and on Twitter how I felt about the win. And I said that honestly, it was a great start because getting an opening win, number one, is big. Let's get that W to start the season rolling. Wins are always great, no matter how you get them, but also to do it away, division rival, it's like, what, you can't ask for anything better. And they showed some really good things. So it's like, wait a minute. Well, of course, there were a couple of things that they need to clean up, but that's a given, regardless of what happened in the game. So to be able to get that win the way that they did, very convincingly, I think it's great. It's a great start.
And you mentioned the injuries, right? So Lucas Patrick, you had Lane Taylor. Lane Taylor, unfortunately, is out for the season.
Out for the season, right?
Yeah, out for the season. Rough. Second one in a row. He had it last year. Battled back in camp, was undefeated in camp, and was just
the same one. Same name?
Yeah, it might be the different one, but yeah, it's sad. And then Kenny Clark, we don't know. He has a groin injury. I think.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I think that's the one that, to me, with Kenny, groins are tricky.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can linger longer than you want. And just because of it's really the base of everything that you do, especially extension and moving side to side for Kenny, a lot of stuff. So driving, pushing, I want to keep an eye on that and see how that kind of takes a role in his performance.
I'm cautiously optimistic, right? Because injury reports aren't going to come out until Wednesday. But I'm cautiously optimistic because we already got an update on Lucas Patrick, right? And his injury is not as severe, which is great. And then we have Lane Taylor, who's unfortunately out for the season. It's just about Kenny right now. And LaFleur was like, we'll have to wait and see, like later in the week. So I'm thinking, I'm hoping that it's like, a day by day. We'll see how it goes. Because, on that defensive line, that'd be a major, major loss if he misses any amount of time.
No, yeah, definitely. Kenny's the truth, and I think he shuts stuff down there. So he's it's funny, everybody, with the Smith brothers with what they do, but I think everything starts with Kenny, honestly.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think, you have guys like Kingsley Keke who, will definitely step up and what have you. But another side of it is we were talking about those O-linemen going down and the way that, Elton Jenkins, good God, he's amazing. Like he is just amazing. Starting off at right tackle, going back to guard. You had John Runyon come in. You had Ricky Wagner going over to right tackle again. There's a lot of shuffling, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And they gave up no sacks, very little pressures. And, Rodgers had clean pockets for the vast majority of that game.
Really. Yeah, it was impressive to see guys be able to shuffle down the line. I think that, them showing their versatility clearly, if they're able to do this throughout the season, they've all made themselves some money. It was very reassuring and promising to see what I saw from that offense.
Yeah, and you have a guy like John Runyon who, 6th round pick, right? Like he just came in, he's fresh rookie.
Like literally came right in.
Yeah, like no preparation, like no preseason, and offensive line, that transition from college to the pros, that's one of the hardest to try and do. You even saw, like, I don't know if you saw the Giants game last night in which you had their starting right tackle. He struggled, because that's a tough job. And I think for him to come in and play as well as he did, like, hats off, because that's been one of those positions all along the line, especially the tackles. If someone goes down, I'm like, oh crap, this is bad, because we don't have a ton of depth like we used to. We have the great pros, but like the great starters. But I mean, they were able to pull it off. They literally were like next man up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think that all that does is make the coaches and the rest of the players more comfortable and confident with who they have and what they can do when guys can step up and perform and get it done. In that situation, first game away, no preparation. It's like, well, we can't expect anything better. You know what I mean? Literally, the sky's the limit from here on out. So, I feel just a tad good. Just a tad.
What I love is how the narrative is kind of like switched, right? So one, we needed a wide receiver. Like when you and I were talking about this, of just like, we thought we were going to go get a wide receiver. The spreading out that they did, the jet sweeps that they did, the way that they utilized all those guys, MVS coming up with some huge catches, the big thing of like Rodgers going deep. He didn't care. Like last year, it seemed a little hesitant. And again, brand new offense, whatever. Well, like he felt very comfortable very, very quickly. And while MVS had some drops, he did have some drops. He brought in some contested balls.
Devontae had a drop too, right? Didn't Devontae have a drop? Yeah. Listen, all that, they got it done. They were slinging it. Aaron was going up top. He had confidence in his guys, even with the drops. And it's one of those things that it shows he trusts his guys. He trusts that wide receiver core.
Devontae.
He was continuing to go at. Yeah, Devontae is the truth. He's one of the best in the league, hands down. I actually don't know how cornerbacks plan on stopping him. You just can't. You can't really stop him. So hopefully you try to get pressure on Aaron or something. I love the fact that all the backs can catch out the backfield. I liked what Jamal Williams did in some really pivotal situations. When he was given an opportunity. Like towards the end of the game, how it was a little bit, Aaron was getting a little more of a groove. So I'm looking forward to only getting better. Yeah, I said it was I think it was for what the expectation was to kind of be like, okay, just feelers for some. I think it was great to see that level of confidence from the coaches and call playing, playmaking abilities, and just continuing to get after it. So yeah, we'll there's a couple things on defense that need to be
we'll just chalk it up.
But honestly, and it's not even, to be honest with you, but even it's not really things to me that I think are overly concerned, like glaring. Even with early on was that first drive or second drive where they just
first drive they just let them
marched it down. Even with that, I think that it is it's not that bad, because you're looking at what they have going on with the Vikings, and they adjusted to certain things. I apologize. What was the young undrafted rookie linebacker?
Chris Barnes. Yeah.
Barnes. Yeah. What? What are we talking about? This is phenomenal.
Great, man. He played freaking great.
Yeah. this is phenomenal with what he did. He's second on the team in tackles for losses, I believe.
Yep.
And he did it in a few minutes. So it'll
I'll
be
take
really
that. I will take that all day, every day.
What do you do? Yeah, exactly. So it just adds to across the board, adds to literally the possibilities of this team. I'm excited.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Oren Burks, a guy that I've been pulling for a couple of years now. He didn't get a lot of snaps, he didn't get a lot of opportunities, and Barnes just got upgraded too. Like he just got pulled up from the practice squad, and they're like, "Here you go, like you're on the 53 now." And he's thrown into the game, and that he produces immediately. And if that doesn't scream to coaches like we're going to give this guy more playing time, then I don't.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny. I think that it doesn't necessarily take away from Burks. And I know that he didn't get that much playing time, but they're just seeing what they have opportunity wise right now, and it's so early on in the season. There's going to be more than enough opportunity, and clearly we're going to need depth. This is going to be the type of season that the depth never hurts.
Correct.
That's up to the coaches on how and knowing how to utilize that in the best way. It's interesting. I watched a few plays. I saw some really good stuff and a few plays from Gary, and I expect him to just keep building. This was exactly what we expected.
100%. Of course. We were talking about the whole time. They're like, this could be easy. Not a problem.
What's funny, it started off kind of what I thought. Remember when I said it's going to start off just, a little bit because there's competition, division, blah, 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 environment. And I said, I expect the Packers to pull away convincingly. A little earlier than I thought.
Yeah.
But got it done. And then the Vikings tried to cover spread a little bit, but whatever. Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because like after that first drive, I was like, "Oh no! Like this could potentially be a problem." And then they held them to 10 points in 3 quarters, like which is great. And then the fourth quarter was like in of itself. So I think if you're able to kind of put in that kind of performance in which your defense can hold it, and I think the best part about it is the fourth quarter the defense let them go down the field quickly and score.
Yes.
Offense fired right back. They had, I think the time of possession, they had 41 minutes, something crazy like that, in which they were able to just methodically go down the field, take time off the clock, and on top of that, put points on the board that were touchdowns instead of like the earlier, I think for like the first quarter and a half or something, their red zone offense was like non-existent. They were settling for field goals, what have you. But, they turned that around real quick.
It's funny. I actually think that this next week, if I'm going to be jumping the gun talking about next week.
Oh, good. There's no rules.
I think
we don't have a name.
I think, exactly. Clearly, we do our own thing. I think that, a lot of people with 1 week, they might try to say that the identity of this Packer team has changed. And I'm like, I think that it's going this week coming, they're going to show you even more what they have. Yeah. And they might try to pound it a little more, run the ball with Aaron and AJ and Jamal and Tyler, right? That's his name.
Oh, Tyler Irvin. Oh,
I'm in this backfield. To be honest with you, like they're
he's a game changer.
They're solid. Like, what do you mean? All of them are
they're all good. Like they're
all legitimately solid, good backs. And I look forward that every single one can get in there and help the offense.
Yes.
And make plays. So I'm looking forward to what Coach LaFleur does with that, especially, as a running back, I'm biased. But and I know Aaron with his experience and age and the way he looks at the game now, I know he appreciates it. Yeah. I know he feels like it is only an added plus, and it helps him and it really will open up more opportunities for him to do what he continues to do.
And what's fascinating too is like you even had guys like what I think that's what I love about what we saw and again week 1, and like we're not saying like anything crazy or anything like that besides that they're winning the Super Bowl, but I think like it's
well, I was waiting for that.
Of course, we're not going to go that. Listen, I'm going to say a fan sent me a replica, all right, from the Super Bowl 45 win, all right.
Right.
I'm just saying, it happened. Great timing, I think so. I think.
I don't know. It looks kind of similar to the trophy that'll be used this year.
I mean, I'll cross it out and I'll write a different Super Bowl number on there because I can't remember exactly which Super Bowl is this year, but that's fine. We'll make it happen. But I think, even guys like Josiah DeGuara, who we had talked about last week, he came in immediately, was effective in the blocking game. He had a couple nice wheel routes. I think and this is just week 1. It's just that there's so much personnel on the field that can give you so many different looks. And I'm just like, yes. Like, defenses are going to have a nightmare trying to scheme for that.
Absolutely. I feel good that they can come out in a lot of different looks and threaten defenses in a lot of different ways. When they need to run the ball and need to win games in that fashion, I think they're going to be able to do that. When they need to spice it up, they're going to be able to do that. They got playmakers across the board, and they got guys that can get it done in the trenches as well. So the upside is phenomenal. Listen, anybody who was kind of, I don't know. No, listen,
No.
Let me explain something to you. Week 1, the upside is booming. And all it's going to do is, we used to talk about a thing called real confidence versus false confidence.
Ooh.
And I think they, with their performance and with who they have 11 on 11 every week, they're going to be able to go out and feel like their confidence is very real, because when they line up one-on-one versus each other, those guys are not, most teams are not going to be able to handle that.
And I think what's great too is, you mentioned next week, with the Lions, you had the Minnesota Vikings, who have a very, very young group of cornerbacks. And you're going to the Lions, who also have very, very young cornerbacks. And like, if you're tasked then with being like, okay, I get to cover Devontae Adams today after he just put in the performance that he did, have fun like that, like looking ahead. I don't
know what they do. I don't know how. Yeah, no, I don't know. Honestly, I don't
They're just
know,
like looking at the schedule. They're like, okay, how did he do? Oh, okay.
I expect them to try not to match up one-on-one, play a little softer, and let's see what you got. Green Bay running the ball. Let's see what you can do with some, allowing them, being a little softer in the back end. So with that, I do expect Green Bay to be able to get it done, run the ball when need be. And as I said, I think that, it's going to be interesting. The identity, it might be hard to find the identity of the Green Bay Packers this year because of how many weapons and the versatility they have.
Because, how many, including myself, like after that draft, you look at the draft from this year and you're like, oh, they're going to start leaning towards the run, right? They're getting a blocking tight end. They're getting a big power running back, et cetera. Like, okay, that's where they're going to go. And then Aaron Rodgers throws for 4 touchdowns and nearly 325 yards.
Damn near a perfect game. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it throws off. It will, honestly, it puts more pressure on the coaching staff.
Yes.
Because now it's a matter of, we see what you have.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with this? And this is why I'm excited, because I'm excited about the possibilities for Coach LaFleur, and the sets he comes out, what personnel he's going to come out with, and a lot of most of the different things. So I think the excitement for me just builds every week with the possibilities.
And obviously, so right now Matt LaFleur is 7-0 against division rivals, that's a beautiful stat. And,
Absolutely.
Coming into this, like you mentioned before, even if like we wind up having fans later in the season, the fact that we don't have to go to Minnesota, which is a very difficult place to play, it's incredibly loud. That's all. Like it's done. Like it's under the belt. We're good. And, now you have Detroit. And if you can start off not only with 2-0, but also 2-0 against, in the division. Yeah, and against a team who, let's talk about it, the Lions and the Bears, I don't think either of their fan bases are like, rah, rah, we did it. That was a great game week 1.
No, absolutely. Regardless, it's one of those games that, like, there was a winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody came out victorious, but
did
anybody win?
No.
So, I think shoot, anytime you can go 2-0 to start the season and then also have 2-0 in the division, what do you mean? That's like extra icing. So I do expect us to get this W. I'm trying to think of what if I want to do that, be that prediction guy. Well, it's funny. I am excited as well, just because Adrian is, of course, with Detroit. Yes. And to see AP still rocking is phenomenal. It's wonderful on my end as being a running back and knowing what the league's the stigma is and the stereotype around the league, and just the that. So to see him rocking and one of the greatest, clearly a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. I'm excited for him. And, I hope he has a solid, non-productive day.
You know what? That's the thing. Like, let us be up like 42-0.
Solid.
Then you could give it to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Get all the garbage points.
Solid day, non-productive in the outcome of the win.
Get some pats on the back, Adrian. Like, you did it. That's nice. But like, Adrian Peterson is one of those guys too that like he'll only run, let's just say, for like 300 yards the entire season, but like 225-yard games against the Packers, just because he's like, yes, that's my team. That I most certainly love running all over them. And I'm like,
he has had a good historical resume.
Yeah,
against the Packers. But yeah, it'll be interesting. So I'm excited about that. There's a couple. I like Stafford.
I do too.
I like Stafford. I think.
I don't think Detroit does, or their offensive line does.
I don't know if Detroit does, but
we do. But we appreciate. I think he's one of the most. I've said this for years now. I think that
he's definitely one of the most underappreciated.
100%. And
my former teammate TJ, when he was in Detroit, he had positive things to say about Stafford, and it's interesting when people, especially with the Packers, we're used to winning. Our expectation is like very high from a performance level in every position, just across the board. So we're quick to talk down anybody who doesn't perform at the level that but at the end of the day, Stafford's, when he's been healthy and when he's been able to be out there on the field, he has performed at a high level. So I am also a wins and losses are not a quarterback stat type of guy.
Yes.
So I think it's hard to kind of, to do that, but I think Stafford is a baller, and guys across the league respect him regardless. So.
And and again, like that's one of those things too. Like I think the Packers will definitely win next week, but again, the Lions. We went to the NFC Championship game, and yet we did not lead a single second either time we played the Lions. Not a single second in that entire game until the very, very end, both times. So like you can't sleep on them, right? Even though they're coming off a heartbreaking loss, right? They're going to be super duper pissed off.
And like you said, in the same breath that we're saying like, week 2, it's only week 2.
Yeah.
So we're still starting fresh for the most part, and I think it's an opportunity for, Detroit could come out swinging, which you could expect. It'll be in Lambeau, so it'll be interesting to see how that works with quote unquote no fans, right? Lambeau's not ever. They're not bringing fans in. Yeah, that'll be interesting, and I know the wind might be picking up, so we'll see how that's going to play a part in the game.
They were putting out advertisements today, like in the back of the end zone. There won't be fans, but there'll be advertisements, and they were saying how windy it was. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I wonder how that plays a part. I would think that it was increased with no fans. So, yeah, we'll see. And these are all conditions that everybody's got to play with, but that are foreign conditions just in general that we're going on. So, we'll see. You can't look past division opponents in general just because it's always they're title fights to some degree.
And I think too, the way that our schedule breaks down, in which you have an early bye, right? So you have an early bye, but week 3 right off the bat is Sunday Night Football against the Saints. So like you're going from those two divisionals to not an easy place to play. It's in New Orleans, going up against Drew Brees. And I don't think they looked amazing week 1, but as we talk about, it's just week 1. I think that's going to be a phenomenal game. But 2, if you're able to get yourself right against divisional opponents, see what you can do. And that's why, what I would honestly love about week 2 is if they don't have to put up 43 points, but if the defense just puts in a huge dominant performance.
Yeah, I think that's a great carryover into what we need for week 3. It's because this week right here is really about what you put on film for week 3. And, in all facets, because you want to fine tune some things and you want to continue to build on the things that you felt like, okay, these are great, but you want to fine tune some things so that when you look at the film going into week 3, you feel good about the product that you're building, because yes, it's going to be a fight down there.
You look at the best teams, right? So you look at a team like the Ravens right now, right? In which they didn't even have to really rely on the running game this past week, but just say the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, Lamar was chopping everybody up.
That was it. You look at those kind of teams, even the Chiefs and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who had a great first game ever. Did not look like a rookie in any way, shape, or form. They
Yeah,
stacked
it
the
was
box
crazy.
and say again.
In my mind, he's player of the game. Like
Yeah. Oh, he killed it.
Yeah.
But like you want one of those teams that like, okay, we'll stack the box against Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then you still have Patrick Mahomes, who has, Tyreek Hill to throw to, Sammy Watkins to throw to, and Kelsey. And I think honestly, the Packers can be one of those teams. They can be, okay,
No, definitely.
you want to stop all these running backs? That's great. Oh, look, it's Aaron Rodgers again. If you're able to build that two-headed monster like the Ravens did last year, I think, the moon is where
Well, that's why
go.
I think that it's really important to just for them to build on, like I said, the rhythm that they have from a wide receiving core, because there's going to be, I do expect Aaron in that backfield to get rocking. With some of those zone schemes that they do, it's just a matter of time. Guys are pressing it, they stay consistent. I know the coach is just going to say, let's stay consistent, just keep pressing our course. Let's keep pressing our course, reading our keys, because things are going to pop in that because of how Aaron performs, because Aaron's Aaron, and then vice versa. My excitement level in regards to how both aspects complement each other are really awesome, because it's like when you have Aaron Jones and that backfield who scored, lead the league in total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Immediately, they're such a threat. And then in the same breath, anytime you're like, oh, well, you still have Aaron, and now Aaron's building on this rapport that he has with this quote unquote young wide receiving core. But at the end of the day, I think that by the end of this season, I think that people are going to say, wow, they've got a bunch of vets on this, guys that are, I do. I think the whole persona around that wide receiving core is going to change, because I think they do have a bunch of really pros. And when I mean pros, I mean guys that are handling their business from a job and craft aspect, doing the work to get better and get it done. So I'm excited about how both sides, from the backfield to the wide receivers are just complementing each other left and right.
They do. Like you know what? It's funny because you look at, like we talked about this last year, like you still had a lot of McCarthy in there, right? Like, because that was kind of the fallback. This was like, I want to say, the first time in a long time where I looked at this team and I was like, this is a different offense, the different looks, the jet sweep, like all of those things. And
they were a little more loose. They definitely, it didn't feel McCarthy era at all. It felt like, we're going to do some things. We got some young guys that can play ball. We're going to have fun, just in general vibe wise, it just felt really, so yeah, it's a new era, and I look forward to it. I'm excited with what they put out. So we'll see. Listen, this is exactly what we said, Tom.
Exactly.
That's why we are. I think we're like prophets.
Honestly, I didn't want to say it, but that's why we're the best unnamed show out there. Honestly,
we don't even need a name. We don't even need a name.
You don't.
Just truth. You know what? Just the truth show. That's all you need. Packer truth.
I guarantee you, someone's out there and they have that trademarked already. We're going to be getting a call from their lawyers later, but
possibly we speak Packer truth.
That's true. The Packers Truth Show. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. So we'll call it that.
You want to hear the truth? You want to hear the truth about the Packers? Listen to us.
That's it. That's it. Until we're completely wrong. And then,
exactly.
You know what? That's what you get for putting all your eggs in one basket. You should know about that. Don't listen to everything.
And then in the same breath, this is perspective.
It is. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. And one last thing I do want to talk about, speaking of, so the Dallas Cowboys, you and I, we were both talking about, like, we were really high on them last week and talking about how, like, they were going to, I thought that, and again, it's only week one, got to keep that in perspective. But they did not come out firing like I thought they did, 4th and 3, where they're in blatant field goal range. They decide not to go for it, which I would say is not very McCarthy-like. McCarthy, at least at the time of the Packers for a while, he would have just taken those points and called it a day. I don't know if you were able to catch the game, but that was
I watched part of it, and honestly, I'm still high on them.
Still on them?
Still on them. Still on them. I think they got a new coach.
They do.
Same thing that I said with when LaFleur was last year. It's not really, to me, it's not really about necessarily right now how they perform. It's really around like what certain things. So I know Mike's trying to feel it out. Mike's got to get a sense of what his guys are like and how they perform in certain situations. But no, I'm actually still high on them. because even with the game of how it performed, that offensive pass interference, which was
it was a bunch of garbage.
Not really offensive pass interference.
Yeah, no, bunch of garbage.
The game is still, very much for the taking. So, no, I'm expecting. I'm still expecting to do good.
Okay, we're still.
I'm still in the. Yes, I'm still in there.
Because you know what I think it's super hard to do. One, because the teams that we just watched on Sunday and Monday are going to be completely and totally different teams, by the end of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The Washington football team is number 1 in the NFC East right now, right? The 49ers are dead last in the NFC West.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
Just like we predicted. Again, just
like we predicted. You know what? We would never predict that because we don't predict anything but the Packers. We don't know anything else.
We never said we were good at anything else.
Anything else. I know nothing. I'm not going to front. I did not think that the Redskins. Not even the Washington team.
This is Washington. Yeah. Ryan.
So to the Washington team. Yes, I know. I'm already. I screwed up. And I should for good reason. But I did not think that they would win that game. Before the game, I didn't think. Even during the game, I didn't think. So I was a little surprised when I refreshed and said, "Oh." It threw me off for a second. I was like, "Wait, what? Oh, okay." But I will say that real quickly, that squad, that defense,
the D line looked for real.
That D line is going to cause problems. So yes, young guys, they might have to win a lot of games for them.
I mean, and someone made the comparison to the 49ers, right? The 49ers who didn't win a lot of games, they bring in Nick Bosa, who's just like a monster, and they win a lot of games. And now, again, they also spent a ton of years drafting and developing. And I don't think the Washington football team's there just yet. Obviously.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
But, if the pieces are there, I love Ron Rivera. I think that he's a great coach, and I think that he's going to definitely be better for that football team and that entire organization. But, it's funny. You said, I didn't think they were going to win that game. I agreed with 90% of that sentence, but I would just chop off that game of just I didn't think they were going to win anything, just this season. If they won a game, I'd be like,
you're right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think they had so many things going on that were betting against them. I do like Coach Rivera. Yeah. I like Ron Rivera a lot. I've never had the opportunity to play for him or play underneath him, but from the guys that I'm friends with that did play with him, the guys I spoke to that did play with him, they all had phenomenal things to say about him.
Yeah.
So I do expect guys to buy in.
Yes.
With him, and that's what you want. That's what you want, and then it's a matter of just performance, but buying into the system, buying into the energy, buying into the mentality, and they want to know which everybody will take.
That's it. Listen, you're on that.
Listen, wins are. It's a lot easier going to work on Monday when you win.
It's very true. It's very true, my friend. Well, Ryan Grant, this has been another episode of Grossi and Grant. We'll see where we are next week. Tell all the people where they can find you, support you, and show you some love.
Once again, Instagram at Ryan.Grant, Twitter, Ryan Grant 25, and Facebook is just Ryan Grant. But my own podcast coming soon, Profits in Process. I'll keep you posted on that. But and next week, same place, same time.
Yeah, same time. It just I mean,
same time. Whatever time that is. Same time.
Edit it, but around roughly a ballpark around
the same time.
Around the same time. And again, I can't stress this enough. What should the title of the show be for next week? It won't stay like that forever unless it blows us away. But come on.
We are giving you, fan, the opportunity to take on the responsibility of naming this show. So look at it. It is a great opportunity to be responsible for 1 week and then do it again.
But it has to be a different name. Again, I want however many episodes we do, right? I want a different name every single.
You know what? Maybe let me think about this. I don't want to start. Maybe we'll do some sort of little sweepstakes. I'll make it a little incentive. I'll do something with it. Let me think about that.
Okay.
I'll come back and what we'll give to the people who are willing to take that responsibility on, and then whoever wins, I'll make it worth
Ooh.
Was it wild? Well, I'll do that.
Ooh. Things getting fancy here. Okay.
Got little connections,
Oh, there you go. That's it. Also, Aaron Rodgers is going to come on the show, and he's going to also choose.
Yeah, and we're going to try and get Aaron to actually.
Yeah, and we're all going to be drinking scotch, and I nope, it's going to be bad, but I'll do it. I'll do it for I'll just be like, it's so good, as I just cry into the scotch, but I'll water it down that way, so it'll be good.
Exactly. There you go.
All right, and you can always find me. You know where to find me at Tom Grossi Comedy everywhere. But Ryan Grant, I appreciate you. I'll of course talk to you next week. Thanks so much for watching, folks. And as always,
you got it. And a good one.
Go Pack, go.